my dance make it hurt.
Hello, hello. Just a quick disclaimer before I begin the podcast that there's currently a power outage in my area, so if you hear a loud static or background noise, it is probably because of the generator. Hopefully, my mic doesn't pick that up, but, anyways, hello and welcome everyone. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Kalayaan podcast. I will be your host for today, Howard Anthony Arnaldo, or Howie for short. Today's episode is all about heroes in the art industry. Just a quick trivia and introduction of myself. Well, of course, as you may know, I am a grade 12 arts and design student and an aspiring concept artist. But did you know that before I became a CFA student, I initially took accountancy, business, and management, or the ABM strand back in 2019 in a physical school? I initially wanted to become a businessman, but I then realized that it was not my passion. And because I have loved art since I was a kid, I decided to instead follow my heart and switch to the arts and design track. Another important fact is art has actually been one of the best forms of healing for my anxiety, and it has really helped keep my mind occupied. So, without further ado, I would like to begin by giving off the definition of a hero. In comic books, movies, and TV series, who is your favorite superhero? Well, of course, we usually think of heroes like Superman, Batman, Spider Man, Iron Man, Wonder Woman, just to name a few. And in our country, we also have heroes like Darna, a Filipino superhero created by Mars Ravalo and artist Nestor Redondo. Just call their name and they are ready to save the day. A hero is a person whom we admire for their courage, outstanding achievements, and or noble qualities. This is according to Oxford. In contemporary Philippine arts, we studied famous and great artists from different regions and fields, such as musical theater and performing arts, visual arts, painting, sculpting, and architecture, literary arts, and of course, photography and filmmaking, and other forms of art. Aside from their unquestionable talents, their vision for creativity and innovation is also one of the most excellent characteristics that an artist should have. We can identify various artists from different art industries, but the question is who among them do we consider as true Filipino or true heroes these days? For me, it is worth paying tribute to artists who risk their lives for the benefit of others and have fully dedicated themselves in producing art that creates a positive impact in the community. In other words, their art becomes a legacy and can be passed down onto generations. Their works are showcased and existed all throughout the ages and are dominant and timeless. There may be countless celebrities, famous TV personalities, movie actors, and artists who have millions of followers in social media. But what have they contributed to the difference, to make a difference in the community and to the world as a whole? If we cannot identify those factors, then we cannot consider them as true Filipino or true art heroes. Artists become heroes when they expose themselves to the world, giving a glimpse of who they really are. Art becomes a natural expression of themselves. They uncover their fragility, bewilderment, and their own point of views and beliefs. Adam Leipzig is an American film producer, founder, and CEO of Media U, an online career acceleration that paved the way to content creation, filmmaking, and television. In his article entitled Heroes for Our Holidays, he cited that the highest form of heroism today is to deal with a blank page, a stage, or canvas and leave a piece of themselves onto it. It is true, artists are often misjudged rather than appreciated. They experience rejection and are very vulnerable to criticism and hostility by the community. On to the artists themselves. I am going to identify three of them whom I consider heroes of the art industry. First up is Juan Luna. He is a renowned Filipino artist, painter, sculptor, and political activist of the Philippine Revolution in the late 18th century. He is known as an impressionist artist as he painted subjects focusing on literary and historical settings as well as his political interpretations of scenes. He left us with a legacy of his remarkable paintings, and one of those is the great masterpiece called the Spoliarium. I recall our midterm project back in grade 11, where we were asked to recreate one of the most iconic paintings in history. That was a really challenging task for me since I specialize in a digital medium. But after doing my own research and having found the idea, I was able to come up with my own interpretation of the painting. Going back to the painting of Juan Luna, he had spent 8 months completing a masterpiece which portrays a scene in ancient Rome, underneath a lifeless cellar, where bodies had fallen gladiators are dragged down to be stripped of their weapons, protective covering, and clothing, before being thrown away like dead meat to grieving friends and relatives. His painting has gained international fame and won the top prize in 1884 in the Madrid Exposition of Fine Arts. I did more research about the spoliarium and found out that it is actually inspired by his teacher, Alejo Vera, who painted Numancia, an award winning piece in 1880 that portrays the citizens of an ancient town in Spain called Numancia, sacrificing their lives instead of being captured by Romans. The theme inspired Luna to begin his greatest masterpiece. The 4.22 by 7.6 meter oil in canvas painting is currently on display at the National Museum of Fine Arts in Manila, with an estimated value of 73 million pesos. The Spoliarium has brought historical triumph not just to Juan Luna, but also to the Philippines itself. It represents history, it is a legacy, and one of the country's cultural treasures. The painting can also be connected with the present situation of the Filipino nation, like the war on drugs, where more than 13,000 people were killed without due process. The life and work of Juan Luna are engraved in Philippine art history, and they are not just artists but national heroes. On to the next artist is Maria Lea Carmen Imutan Salonga, or better known as Lea Salonga. She is a renowned multi-award winning actress and singer with her perfect pitch and powerful voice, well known for her contribution in the musical theater. She has started performing professionally at the age of 7 and was part of the Philippine Repertory Theater. In 1989, when she was 13, she was selected when she auditioned for the lead role of Miss Saigon, conducted by the producers of the musical play Les Miserables. It is a story of Chris, a male GI who falls in love with a young Vietnamese girl named Kim. It was her first it was it was her first big international performance, and her role in Miss Saigon made her bag the Tony Awards. She has won multiple awards including the Olivier, Drama Desk, Outer Critics Circle, and Theatre World Awards, aside from the Tony Awards. She was also the first Asian to play Eponine in the musical play Les Miserables on Broadway, and she made a comeback to the show as Fantine in 2006. Her fans are truly proud of her, as she is also the singing voice of Princess Jasmine from the movie Aladdin and Fa Mulan from Mulan and Mulan 2. Her multiple roles, being beloved princesses of Disney, paved the way for Walt Disney Company to award her the honor of Disney Legend. Lea Salonga had many international awards, and for me, she is considered a modern hero in arts Because of her contributions to the music and theater arts industry, bringing pride to our country, she may not be the type of hero that saves people's lives, but she is a hero because she represents the voice of Filipinos and our heritage. She proudly presented herself as a Filipino in so many countries and made a name in the theater industry. I also included an international artist whom I also considered a hero, but he's not Filipino. His name is Weiwei, a controversial Chinese contemporary artist who grew up in the northwest of China, where he lived under severe situations. He is often known for criticizing the government with his own voice and artworks, which of course led to trouble. He was unjustly imprisoned and beaten multiple times because of it. There's also one instance where a major earthquake occurred and led to thousands upon thousands of deaths, including children, all of which could have been avoided by the government if they took proper preventive measures. But instead of doing that, they refused to take accountability and swept the whole situation under the rug. So, what he did was go to the area of the disaster, took some debris, and created artworks to call out the injustice and to commemorate the victims. I think that this is a great example of using one's platform or art to point out an issue within society. Being able to voice criticism while knowing the repercussion is for me a very heroic trait. A realization of heroism in the art industry is that there should be a certain depth of creative expression of an artist and it will create a long lasting impact to the community. They courageously contribute to our innovative culture with their strength and their determination over the circles of their lives. They are our narrators, image makers, poets, writers, and artists who carry out collective stories and convey it through their own hands, voices, masterpieces, and works of art. In short, they are our role models. Alrighty. So that concludes it for this episode of Kalayaan Podcast for now. Thank you very much for tuning in, and may God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Howie. And that is our episode 2 of Kalayaan Podcast. We will then have another episode on Friday where we have another group who will be here. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Howard.